All right, before we get into the story, let's start with the plan. We're here at the Green Valley District. The district is kind of like the shopping center for West Henderson. And we're gonna try to bike from here to downtown Henderson's Water District, an up and coming area to grab a bite to eat. We've never done this before though, so we don't know if it's 100% possible, but we found some trails that should get us there.
Yeah.
All right, so in 2012, Sam and I made the decision to do mushrooms for the first time. It wasn't so much for like fun or recreation. We were looking for a positive benefit out of it. We're not endorsing mushrooms. We're not saying that you should do mushrooms. This is 100% just our kind of crazy, weird story.
Right now we're on the Paseo Verde Pkwy trail, and I think we can get to the 215 trail from here. I really have to pee. Is peeing like in a park, like, okay? Like on the train.
100% that is not okay.
I still have to pee.
What does that mean?
Should I go here?
Do it. We're good. Heads up to the right. All right, we stopped here because you gotta pee.
Yeah.
All right, so in 2012, Sam and I are 22 years old, and like life is just kind of okay, work is okay, but it just kind of feels like our passion for life is sizzled out. And I see this article online that says that there's some incredibly positive benefits behind doing mushrooms properly. And so for the next 90 days, I set out to find out if that article was in fact telling the truth. And every bit of research that I found pointed to the fact that if you did mushrooms with the right intentions, with the right people, at the right place, it can be one of the most impactful things that you ever experienced in your entire life, but that there was still a 100% chance for like a really intense or a bad trip. So even though Sam and I knew that bad trips were possible, we decided, you know what, the science is there, let's take the leap, let's go for it. And so we turned our tiny little Huntington Beach apartment into our mushroom safe place. We deep cleaned the entire apartment. We cut up fresh fruit. We lay out pillows and blankets everywhere. We put together a Bob Marley playlist, and we just have this whole little vibe going. Sam really didn't want to taste the mushrooms though. And so we very carefully measure out the amount that we think should get us to like a level 3 out of 5 intensity. We blend it up with oranges and pineapples. So we put the final touches on the apartment, we come back and we drink this brownish, yellow, pulpy slush. And we know that we have about 45 minutes until we start to feel the effects, at least from what we've read. So we sit down in our living room, turn on a recorded live set of Major Lazer. And about 15 minutes after drinking the mushrooms, Sam gets up to go pee. And I feel like I start to feel the effects coming on, but it's just, it doesn't make sense because it's still so early and I'm a little like nervous, excited. So I think I'm just psyching myself out. And as the bass builds for Major Lazer, it drops, and I'm watching the TV and it almost seems like the entire TV like shakes. And I'm like, no, like there's no way, like I'm gonna go find Sam. And so I walk into the bathroom and it's this tiny bathroom. Sam's sitting on the toilet right next to the shower and she's just staring at the shower curtain. And she kind of turns to me and with huge eyes quietly says like, is there a breeze blowing the shower curtain? See, the active ingredient in mushrooms is psilocybin. And when you eat mushrooms, that psilocybin breaks down into psilocin in your stomach, and that's what you actually trip off of. What we didn't know was that citrus fruit does that for you, and it made it hit stronger and faster. So it was right about this time that we started feeling a little bit nauseous, like it was coming on fast. A really nice warm shower just sounded great. We hop in the shower, we turn the knob, and the fucking water comes out highlighter, fluorescent, yellow and green and pink, and we start laughing hysterically. We start cracking up, not just like a normal laugh, but like the laugh where you're like bent over, your abs hurt, your cheeks hurt. We end up showering and we get out. And at this point, everything has come alive. The walls are like breathing. Everything has this just like this living energy to it. And we lay down on our bedroom floor. The Cheshire cat on my arm becomes three-dimensional, and we're sitting there just like cracking up as we're petting the Cheshire cat. And this level was just perfect. It was right where we wanted to be, even though it came on a little bit like quicker than we had planned. It was just this really nice, enjoyable, fun trip. But it was right about then that it kicked up another notch. All right, we made it to downtown Henderson's water district. Look at this. The city's been doing major efforts to revitalize this area, and it 100% has the potential to be the next downtown Las Vegas. So it got really intense, and pretty much for the next 2 hours, being a human just completely stopped. Time became meaningless. You know, it felt like we had parked our meat bodies right there in our little Huntington Beach apartment, and some massive being had picked us up by the back of our t-shirts and was whipping us through time and space. Parts of it were exhilarating and fun, and other parts of it were absolutely terrifying. But we knew from research that if we tried to fight it, it was only gonna make it worse. So for the first time in our lives, we stopped thinking about what was next, stopped worrying about what was gonna happen, and we're just truly living in that moment because we really had no other choice. All right, you ready? We're super hungry right now, so we're gonna go grab a bite to eat right down here at a place we found on Yelp. So let's go. As we really gently came back to Earth, it felt like we had been gone for 2 weeks on vacation. Like the benefits for us was just immediate, and we hadn't laughed like that for so long, and we just came back feeling just really refreshed. We went into this trip with all of this research and preparation, thinking that we were properly prepared and we had an idea of what was coming, and it was stronger and more intense than we could have ever imagined. But through that, we came away with that, like, even though life is weird and painful sometimes, is also really beautiful. And as cheesy as it sounds, we're all connected in that. Even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes, like, it's going to be okay. And Sam and I didn't take mushrooms one time and become enlightened and perfectly happy forever, but that was the beginning of the journey of realizing that the seeds of happiness are out there, and we just get to go find what that means to us. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This bike ride was a blast. It's gonna be a cold ride back, but thank you guys so much for listening to the story, and we're gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.